ever since the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie was announced and released in the United States on January 16th, 2019, VIC MIGNOGNA fell under the attack of many people that were accusing him of misconduct both in private and in public. And following the events of the hashtag KickVic movement, there have been many people that came out in pointing out the flaws within the stories of Monica Rial, Jamie Marchi, Jessie Pridemore, Ron Toei, and many others that have been accusing Vic of said actions. And ever since then, as you guys can see on screen, many people have been doing very egregious things both in public and in private to further tarnish VIC MIGNOGNA's reputation in getting him fired from his roles, getting him removed from conventions, as many people that stood with VIC MIGNOGNA in the hashtag I Stand With Vic movement have also been scrutinized, blocked, and looked down upon for simply not having to take the stance of those that are accusing VIC MIGNOGNA of said actions. As we are going to be going through all of the evidence, all of the tweets, and everything made since then, in having to look at and view the narrative from an objective point of view to see what exactly went down involving VIC MIGNOGNA and the accusers having to accuse Vic of said actions. As once more, if you guys are new to this channel and of course love anime and Dragon Ball alongside, want to be up to date with all the latest involving VIC MIGNOGNA, Monica Rial, Jamie Marchi, Ron Toei, and the entire situation, then be sure to go on ahead and punch that subscribe button and turn on all notifications to never miss a single upload and to be up to date with all latest news and information, along with checking out and subscribing to my primary channel Unreal and Gaming, where on there we are going to be covering lots of Dragon Ball content, anime, and gaming, so make sure you guys go on ahead and check that channel out over there, alongside following me on Twitter at Unreal and Gaming for all the latest updates, including if you guys have any articles and or pictures to tag me in or share with me, be sure to go on ahead and follow me on Twitter, in which I do want to go on ahead and discuss the overall narrative behind VIC MIGNOGNA and the entire situation that led to the overall division of the community, as many people that either stood with VIC MIGNOGNA or against VIC MIGNOGNA were up in arms against each other. People's friendships came into question, and it's all because of what happened in relation to Jamie Marchi, Ron Toei, Monica Rial, Christopher Sabat, VIC MIGNOGNA, and everybody involving that said party, including conventions. And this wouldn't have been an issue if VIC MIGNOGNA had been found guilty through the court of law via DNA evidence or photographic evidence that's empirical or video evidence that's empirical. But being that the main issue in this entire situation isn't the fact that VIC MIGNOGNA is having to be accused of said actions, but he's being accused of these actions without any empirical evidence. And that's why a lot of YouTubers, a lot of content creators, a lot of convention owners and convention staff members, even other voice actors are standing up for Vic. And yes, if Vic is guilty of being a monster, if this was true about him, then yes, we do want him to be put away. Nobody wants a person like this, a predator like this, to be lingering around in the background, having to prey upon our sisters, daughters, mothers, grandmothers for some, you know, things of that nature. So yes, we do want justice for victims, real justice for real victims, but the only issue is, in this entire situation, is that people are simply pointing the finger, but not presenting any evidence. That's where all of this originally started. It goes based off of he said, she said, but then when the proof is required and the said accuser is not providing any or lack of, then that in and of itself is what becomes the issue. And that's why a lot of people decided to side with VIC MIGNOGNA, because of the lack of evidence against him. Now, of course, we can go back and looking at many other cases through trial, in looking at all of the male individuals that were just so happened to have been accused by females, just for it to be proven wrong through the court of law, and for that individual to walk free, but his reputation, his overall public image had been destroyed simply by having these people come out and blame them for things that they never did. Now, of course, again, if Vic was guilty, I do stand with hashtag KickVic, but since I believe he is innocent and I think he had done nothing wrong because there is no empirical evidence to put him away, I do stand with Vic, as do many other people. However, in this entire situation, it doesn't only stem with voice actors. It went as far as to go as deep as to affect conventions, convention staff, convention events. Many of the conventions either pulled Vic out, some of them brought him back in, which is a good thing depending on how you want to look at it. And you have people primarily on Twitter voicing their opinions, which is completely fine. If you want to stand with Vic, if you want to go against Vic, whatever the case may be, you have an opinion, you have a voice, and that ought to be heard. However, don't assume that your opinion isn't subject to criticism. And that's where a lot of people tend to go based off of their feelings and not facts. Remember, just like Ben Shapiro said, it's facts over feelings. Facts don't care about your feelings. If something is absolutely factual, then that in and of itself is what should be dictated, not your feelings. Because primarily, subjectively, feelings are only based off of assumption. How you personally feel about said situation or said action or said person or said train of thought, it's an assumption that you have that's not factual. And in this case, a lot of people were assuming that Vic was guilty going based off of only hearsay. Now, we also have many internal problems going on with, said individuals such as Shane Holmberg and many other individuals that run conventions and trying to pull this man away, and the fandom in and of itself was easily dismissed by the hashtag KickVic movement as trying to conspire against the people that are accusing Vic, creating conspiracies and all types of things, when this is not a conspiracy. This is 100% factual. We had Vic Mignogna's lawyer go on Nick Ricchetta's live stream laying out every single thing, laying out every law action, laying out every comment having to be made, laying out the groundwork and what's been going on. So who are you truly going to believe in this situation? Are you going to believe a bunch of outraged Twitter users, or are you going to listen to the actual lawyer that just so happens to be representing one of the individuals a part of this case? And Ty Beard went on record in saying so much about this entire situation that people are still choosing to side with people that are accusing Vic in said actions, when you have to stop and think, what if you were in Vic Mignogna's shoes? What if people were pointing the finger at you and accusing you of doing things when either it was A, minor, or B, not even something that you were directly involved with? How would you feel about that? And I think the biggest thing that pisses me off about this entire thing is that even after an apology is made, even after a statement is put out, it's still not good enough in 2019. So it's baffling to see how people are hypocrites in demanding and requiring for an apology, but the moment their wish is fulfilled and they do get a public apology and or statement, it's not good enough for them. So what more do you want? Do you want to lock the man up? Do you want to put the man to death? It doesn't make any sense. So in today's day and age, my issue about this whole situation is the approach, the apology. If you feel like someone's sincere, then that person is sincere. There is no reason to doubt them, especially Vic in this case, being that he was very professional. He went about this and not replying to literally anybody, putting out a public statement, apologizing to his fans, apologizing to the staff, apologizing even to the VAs for anything that he had done to offend them, and that's still not good enough. Why isn't an apology good enough in 2019? Why are apologies scrutinized if someone comes out not only admitting something but also being sincere in their approach? That's my issue, and a lot of these so-called professional voice actors and people within the community took it upon themselves in acting in a very unprofessional way, so of course the rest of the fandom is going to call you out for that if you're acting like a complete douchebag. So again, I do appreciate everyone that's been following me on Twitter, and again, follow me at Twitter at UnrealNetwork. We've been talking about this a lot on my Twitter in having to look at the overall objective narrative, and I tried to be objective in the beginning as much as I could, but after looking at all of the evidence and fabrication of evidence and lies and manipulation and deceit behind what's been going on, of course I stand with Vic, because it's not right to see someone be put in a situation to where they're backed into a corner, especially if the accusations against that individuals haven't been proven. Now again, if Vic comes out and being guilty in this entire case, I am man enough to admit that I am wrong. However, for those that cannot possibly accept the fact that if Vic comes out of this innocent, then he's innocent, then those people are still going to demonize him, scrutinize him, generalize him as a monster, as a predator, and those people live in arrogance and they dwell in ignorance. Because even if they find him innocent through the court of law, they are still going to scrutinize this man even after he's found innocent. So by the end of this video, I'm going to close things off with a few clips from Emish's live, Nick Ricchetta, Ty Beard, just so you guys can go on ahead and see everything from an objective point of view. I put all of the tweets, all of the Twitter posts, everything up for you guys to see, and I want you guys to formulate your own thoughts and letting me know what you guys think about this entire situation involving Vic and what the be-all end-all goal is going to be once this is all said and done. Thank you all so much for your support. thank you all so much for watching, guys. Once more, if you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on all notifications. The road to 100,000 subscribers continues. Again, follow me on Twitter at UnrealNetgaming. Subscribe to my main channel at UnrealNetgaming for more awesome alternative Dragon Ball and gaming videos. Thank you all so much. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys also take the time to share this video out on Twitter and Facebook. And without wasting any more time, let's jump straight into the clips. Here we go.
The fact that he stayed quiet, the fact that he tried, he made an effort, he made an attempt to at least appear to be professional about it, it wasn't enough. It really wasn't enough. And now these people are coming out of here, coming out of the blue saying, well, we just want him to apologize. He did. He did, I think, at least twice. And you people still went after his neck. Because what we're going to talk about today is the acknowledgement of people who are willing to stand up for what's right. Not for what they feel is right, and not for what people tell them to feel is right. And what makes this conversation even more important is the fact that we aren't talking about an individual. We're talking about a collective effort, a convention that is willing to stand up for what is right by being fair and by giving VIC MIGNOGNA this very same treatment that these who are accusing him of doing God knows what, they would expect the very same kind of treatment. If someone came out and accused them of something, they would want for us to hashtag stand with Monica, stand with such and such. And their behavior within the past few months on social media, behind people's backs, all over the internet, is dead evidence of that. So HawaiiCon recently came out with a statement announcing that VIC MIGNOGNA will be attending HawaiiCon as a guest and that they're excited for it and they're legitimately celebrating it. And with all the information that we have now, with alleged stories being inconsistent, having to have been proven to be inconsistent, being fabricated, with people being caught lying in the act, even Funimation themselves have tried to cover things up and they have also been caught lying. But that's not enough. You know, that's not enough proof. That's not enough evidence. Their testimonies are evidence, right? We're supposed to believe that. But when we present the facts to you guys, but you guys don't like facts. You don't agree with facts because facts don't care about your feelings. You want people to care about your feelings and nothing more, nothing less than that. Because you're cowards and because you're entitled. And before we even jump into HawaiiCon, because this video is for them, by the way, because they made the effort to at least reach out to content creators like me and to acknowledge the fact that they feel that what we're doing here on the YouTube platform is the right thing to do, that they appreciate it, and that's why this video is being put out. And honestly, I would put out this video regardless because it's a story to talk about. It is something worthy of talking about for sure.
Even if you wanted to go into each and every con that dropped him and bring a cause of action for tortious interference with a contract, a specific contract, you could get past that. Because in Texas, even if there's an exit clause, because I know you threw that in there as some sort of gotcha, but in Texas specifically, under Texas Supreme Court decisions, even if there is a cancellation or termination clause, up until the moment it's terminated, tortious interference still applies. So even if you give a valid reason for them to cancel a contract, and they cancel a contract, but the communication was done with actual malice and was not privileged, you still have tortious interference because you're in Texas. And because you're in Texas, truth isn't a defense. But I'm not the one who knows this, right? You certainly have a counter argument within the jurisdictions we're talking about, correct? It wouldn't be that way in Arkansas, in Louisiana, in Alabama, in Washington, D.C., in New York State, in California, but it is in Texas. So please tell me now where I'm wrong, since you're the expert.
I'm sorry, I actually wasn't paying attention to all of that.
How embarrassing you are. You are the most embarrassing person I've ever seen. I just laid out exactly what you asked. I just laid out exactly.
They're saying right now that you look angry.
I am angry. You're wasting 4,400 people's time.
4,400. Wow, you got a whole bunch of people who just heard you say that you didn't know the first thing about what's going on with Vic's lawsuit.
Oh my God! If that's your takeaway, if that's your takeaway from this, oh, okay.
Someone just said that maybe if you talk louder, you'll be right.
I right the entire time. You haven't shown a single shred of where I'm wrong.
Shown a single shred. You're not right about, you don't know anything about what Vic is doing. That's the end of it. You don't know anything about what Vic is doing. You're making wild conspiracy theories on the internet. You're making speculation. You don't even practice Texas law. You're not licensed in Texas.
And shockingly, I know so much more about it than you that it's sad.
And yeah, that's why you've been wrong every single time. That's why you've never seen a contract. You've never seen a contract for his employment. You've never seen a contract at a convention. You're assuming what actually happens in Texas law when it comes to contracts. You have never, as a matter of fact,
I'm telling you very clearly what happens in Texas law with contracts. You didn't even listen. You're too busy. You're too busy looking at Lolly or whatever you're doing. I don't know.
You've never actually been to court. You've never actually been to court in Texas for a convention contract ever in your life. You have never been to court in Texas for a contract for convention. I have. I've written the contracts. I've argued them in court. I've won in court. You've never done that. You are an internet lawyer in Minnesota doing a podcast trying to tell someone in Texas who writes these contracts and who's won these contracts in court what the actual law is, and saying that
it's pretty easy.
I know, because I've watched your videos. You're the guy who gets online, argues what you think is going to be the case, and then when it's argued in the other favor, makes another video and says, this is why the court was wrong. That's what you do. You basically argue what you think it should be, and then when it's decided against you, you make videos saying why the court was wrong. That's all you do.
Which video did I argue where the court was wrong, where I thought it should go a different way?
You're basically an internet hack catering to really bad people.
Catering to the who? Catering to the who? Say it. Say it.
Catering to the really bad crowd.
No. Name it. Name it. Name who you wanted to name.
I was going to name the people who are defending blackface lawyer.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Yeah, good job. You win. Great.
Hey, you're a First Amendment lawyer. I respect you. You're a First Amendment lawyer. Absolutely. I have respect for you for standing up for First Amendment rights. No hate there. You do what you do. You're a First Amendment lawyer. You have a right to stand up for it. That's fine. That you're a lawyer. That's what lawyers do. Absolutely. There's no hate with you standing up for that as a lawyer.
No hate for it. It kind of sounds like there's some hate for it. Did you want to say it caters to the alt-right? You can say it here. It's safe. We're in a safe space.
Oh no, there's no safe spaces, honey.
Because you said caters to the alt, and then you stopped. Go ahead and say it.
I'm gonna say that you cater to. You're gonna cater to a branch of people that even some people on the alt-right are ashamed of. That's all I'm gonna say. That's what you do.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right, now back to the subject that you brought up and demanded. You demanded I name a thing, right? So I said tortious interference with business prospects. Then you said, how is he going to do this? Then I laid out literally step by step exactly how you do it in Texas, and you said, I wasn't listening. So why don't you go in and tell me where I was wrong? Kamehacon, you can still do the right thing. I hope you see this. You can still do the right thing. You can bring Vic. Make them do it. The fans will understand. They'll always understand when one party has been threatening and abusing you. By the way, what they did to you is likely harassment under the law, especially if they did it to your phone. They can't actually do what they did. So not only does Vic have a cause of action against them for tortious interference, defamation, but you do too. You don't deserve to be harassed by these scumbags. And neither does any other con owner, by the way. Neither does any other con owner. This intimidation garbage, the fans will back you up. Make the people flexing on you put up. See if they do it. See if they do it. Because they won't. How can they? It's their income. It's where all their money comes from. You guys are giving them a platform. You guys are running the business, not them. I've had to do something for 5 days that I hate. I hate it. I hate it. For 5 days, I have been asked to sit on information. Okay? I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Transparency, openness, honesty is integrity. But for 5 days, I was asked to sit on information on a promise. On a promise. And I'm not the only one. There's at least one other guy out there who has significantly similar information to me. And he's been sitting on it too. For 5 days. Alright? I don't like doing this. I don't like having to withhold information from you guys, because you guys deserve to know. The public, the fans, the convention goers deserve to know what's going on behind the scenes. These weasels, what they're doing behind the scenes. But I was asked to wait. I was asked to wait and to let Kamehacon make the announcement. So there's your first character in this story, and it's Kamehacon. Kamehacon, the one about Dragon Ball. The one that invited VIC MIGNOGNA first, before any other voice actors. That one. The one that disinvited VIC MIGNOGNA when Ron Toye and Monica Rial and Chris the Weasel Sabat, you scumbag pile of trash, hiding in the background, lurking in the shadows, telling everyone they're friends. You are the nastiest piece of work of this whole bunch. You are Ron Soye is just your little bitch gimp, and you know it. Listen, these guys, here's how sad Ron Soye is. This guy is cucked by Monica, by Chris Sabat, because he does the talking for them. He breaks the bad news so that they're insulated. They're insulated. Chris Sabat, he's running errands for Chris Sabat. And he probably thinks that no one knows that. His little shame is hidden. His little shame is hidden behind Chris Sabat. What I'm told. I'm going off of sources. I have a source inside Kamehacon. Inside Kamehacon. You thought this wouldn't get out? You thought that your activities behind the scenes, bullying a con owner into thinking about canceling conventions for the fans. They're not for you. They're for the fans. You think that it wouldn't get out. You thought that it wouldn't get out. Not just once. Because, I mean, they did it once. They did it once. If Vic gets to go, we're not going. I'm sorry. He's under contract. He's under contract. A signed piece of paper. You don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. Not in escape the long arm of Texas law. That's tortious interference. You don't get to lie about VIC MIGNOGNA to the convention owner of Kamehacon. You don't get to lie about what you're going to do to VIC MIGNOGNA, to the convention owner, to force him to break a contract. That is tortious interference. Monica, Sabat, Toye, none of you have the privilege to do that. None of you have privilege in the contract between VIC MIGNOGNA and Kamehacon. You're third parties. You're not even third party beneficiaries. You're not privileged to interfere with that contract. And you're definitely not privileged to lie about it and to force this guy's hand. But you did. Something like 4 or 5 weeks ago you did, and he dropped Vic. He dropped Vic on your words. Your words that never materialized, did they? Did they? We know what you said, you idiots. Let me make this clear. Let me make this doubly clear, because I know what you're gonna accuse me of. This information comes from inside Kamehacon. I'm not getting this information from Vic. I'm not getting information from Ty. This comes straight from the party. You think all of these people are on your side when you're arrogant, vile bullies? You think they're on your side when you bully them into an illegal position? When you bully them into breach of a contract? When you threaten their business that they put all the work into, and you come along and try and dictate their contracts? You think they're on your side? They're not. So 4 or 5 weeks ago, Kamehacon drops VIC MIGNOGNA. Okay, so did everybody else. Didn't know it at the time, but Vic was under contract. So, let's just say Rial, Sabbath, Soye, Shane, you disgusting vermin, Shane, they lie. They go ahead and straight up lie to the owner of Kamehacon. Flat out lie. This is going to happen. They know it can't happen. They've admitted on social media specifically that they know this won't happen, but they lied to him. So he dropped him. It doesn't happen because you know you can't make it happen, you liars. So it doesn't happen. So what next? Well, looks like the owner of Kamehacon had a change of heart. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what was going on with that. Maybe it was nice petitions from fans. I don't know. What I do know is that the owner of Kamehacon 5 days ago had a change of heart. And he said, we're going to bring back VIC MIGNOGNA. Because these other people, I guess because the other people lied to him. Seems like a good reason to not breach a contract is when you find out the other people are lying to you. So he says we're going to bring back Vic. 5 days ago, I wanted so bad. When I heard this, I said, please, please, please let me tell this story. Everyone's going to be excited. And they're like, we're kind of worried about the response. Everyone's going to be excited. Everyone will support Kamehacon 100%. Vic's fans will throw all of the support. They will drown out the criticism. Because the critics, I don't know if anybody notices, but the critics are on life support right now. They are on life support. They are embarrassingly bad at this. They can't manage their own stupidity. They can't manage each other's stupidity. These are barely functional human beings. If that. Their marketing campaign is on life support. They have no voice in public. They've privated their accounts. They're hiding in any corner that they can. Nobody's liking their stuff. No one's sharing their stuff. No one believes these people. Not a single person outside of these little, terrified convention circuits. No one that they don't have leverage over believes these people. Not a single person, because they are so disgustingly bad at their messaging. And they have just it's built on lies. Of course they're bad at it. What are they going to do? You can only work so hard with a false story. And it's over and over and over again. One question throws these people into, straight into Charybdis. Right? Straight into Charybdis. They got nothing. They can't stand up to one question. Why would you ask for evidence? How dare you? Well, why do you think? You've destroyed a man's life. They can't do anything right. They can't do anything right. And yet, I'm trying to tell these people, please let us tell the story. You'll have thousands, tens of thousands of people supporting you. Tomorrow, the second they hear that you are standing up for Vic, you'll have thousands of people supporting you tomorrow that were neutral or worse today.
We want you people to be safe. We want to be able to bring our nieces, our daughters, our sisters to these kinds of places and feel like they are in a safe place. And considering that a lot of you are self-proclaimed influencers, considering that a lot of you have been on the scene for X amount of time, considering a lot of you have friends in the industry, considering a lot of you have friends who happen to be cosplayers, who happen to also share the stories that they hear based on hearsay, you are obligated. There is an obligation placed upon you to report things when you see it. And the irony here is that for conventions who are willing to bring VIC MIGNOGNA along, they're quick to say boycott them. They're quick to say boycott HawaiiCon. And yet these same people make the claim that they have reported these acts of sexual assault, that these acts of invasion of privacy, that these unethical and immoral acts, they've allegedly reported these things and they never once considered boycotting them.